Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Midday Market Update. My name is Glenn, Senior Stock Market Strategist for VectorVest. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. First trading day of the week. Week starting off looks like on a little bit of the dull foot today so far, so we'll see what happens. We'll go through, is this a market correction or is this part of a market crash? We'll take a look at what the VectorVest system has to say. By the way, if you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know in the chat, preferably with VV Nation, to let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. In the background, let's welcome back Joey. He had a couple of days of not being too well, but he is back, and I am thankful that he is back. We miss you a lot, Pops. Did I just get called Pops? Dang, is it all of this, Joey? Makes me look like I'm a Pops.
Hey, back in the day when I was investing in the stock market, I used the VectorVest software, and it helped me to make lots of money. Oh, yeah.
Now I just need a little pocket knife and an apple so I can cut up my apple because now I'm Pops. I like that. That's not so bad, calling me Pops. That means I am well revered. That's what I like. I guess that I must be well revered. So, Furby, Michael, Diana, Bill, Lisa, G-Dave, John, Embray, Pennywise, Joe, John. Thank you, guys. Don't even start, John. Don't even start. We're not going down that path. You know me. I'm not going down that path. Glenn, can this market make up its mind in Akshaya right now? I think that there's a lot of trepidation in the market. Still going on with what's going to happen with interest rates. The market is just, I don't know. It's really tough to say if the market can really make up its mind. You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a catalyst to go one way or another that'll push the market definitely in one direction or the other. Right now, we're sitting range bound in the market. We got a lot of buying pressure at the bottom of today's wick. We should say, Mr. says, is there a certain platform you should be using? And Mr., are you talking about a trading platform? And if there is, you need to do some research on your own because there's a lot of different trading platforms out there. You need to find what's best for you. And I'm sure that you can go to any platform, look around, and see what best fits you. Lifestyle says elderly respect. I'm not elderly. Oh, yeah, guess what? Death penalty. Yes, I am from New York. And next week, VectorVest will be, a whole lot of us will be at the NASDAQ next Monday and Tuesday in New York. We got a special promotion, something going on. So a lot of people, I think everybody in the education department, along with senior management, will be in New York at the NASDAQ for a couple of days, next Monday and Tuesday. We fly in on Monday and fly out on Tuesday. It's a quick turnaround trip. And I'm sure that after we're done, we'll have a lot of promotional pictures. We're getting our picture taken at the NASDAQ. It's going to be kind of cool. So it's too quick of a turnaround for me to actually really go see family while I'm in New York. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun couple of days. No, we're not going to ring the bell, Lewis. And we're going to be close to on stage at the closing bell. Looks like we're going to be close to on stage, not on stage, at the closing bell. That's what I think is going to happen. Contract on Dragonfly Electric. What are you talking about, Deborah Ann? You're talking about something. Hey, Joey, glad you're feeling better. That's from Janice. What's up, Glenn? Hi, Clyde. I call it investment. What's up? Can't nobody hold me back from going. I'm stealing my mom's car. Oh, yeah. Don't steal your mom's car. Don't do that. That's not good. My kid did that. My youngest kid did that and got into a little bit of trouble. Your video was great on the 3 poor man stocks. Enjoyed it, Glenn. When is the best time to get into these? So guess what? I'm going to have a little bit more follow through on my top weekly picks this evening on the 6 p.m. video. I added one more and I showed even a different way. Man, I'm excited about tonight's video. It is a different turn on for both the US and Canada on my top weekly picks. You need to tune into that. I got another way. So we got the rich man's way, the poor man's way, the pauper's way, and I got something else I'm going to call the deep long-term play. The deep long-term play. So go, and it really is hinging around these three stocks that everybody should have in their portfolio right now. And I put one more. And so tonight's video is going to be, it's going to be hype. It really is going to be hype. All right, Glenn, I love you. Bought AVGO as you advised and making a lot of profit now. Should I sell or hold? We'll look at that stock today. And you know what I'm going to do when I look at today's stocks from you guys? I think that I am going to concentrate more on how to get out of those stocks. All right, because a lot of people have made a lot of money in a lot of stocks. And with the market looking the way it is, you know, we got a lot of red in the color guard. And, you know, when I look at the difference between market caution and market crash, for me, it really depends on what lights are the prevalent color. Got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yellow, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 red. So when I'm looking, and then 1 green, of course. So when I look at the color guard, the prevalent color is red. Now I am being more defensive in my portfolio. When I've got more yellow in the color guard, I'm being more cautionary and I'm tightening stops in my portfolio. So when I've got a little bit more red, I'm becoming a little bit more defensive. And now I'm going to think about trying to look at some contra ETFs to start to put on board. But I'm going to show you something that's very interesting when we get into looking at what's going on with the contra ETFs, given the current market's conditions. Glenn, which is the Microsoft ETX, MSFX? MSFX. All right, Glenn, what do you think about Lennar, her earnings? That is one of the stocks that we're going to look at for earnings today. All right, so real quick, before all of you start running away, because I'm not talking about stocks just yet, share this link. Joey, put the link in the room. Share this live stream. Let's get a lot of people in the room, because with the way the market is going, a lot of questions are being asked. How should I manage my portfolio? And I'm going to start off by saying the power of the VectorVest software by looking at the colors in the color guard will answer that question. More reds, I'm going to be defensive. I'm going to start taking some of these profits off the table. Not even tightening stops. I should have already done that when the color guard was yellow. Now, when I start to see more reds in the color guard, I'm starting to take some of these profits off the table. And number two, I'm probably looking at the stocks that I want to hold a little longer, hedging them with contra ETFs. Put those two things together, folks. You'll always know where to be in the market. And it's just looking at the homepage of the software. Guess what? If you don't have access to the VectorVest software you want access for 30 days, go to www.vectorvest.com/YT. Get a 30-day trial to look at, if nothing else, look at the homepage, whether it's mobile or the desktop, www.vectorvest.com/YT. $9.95 get you a 30-day trial. All right. As far as the stocks to look at, I'll get you all of that information once it's time for us to get into those stocks. David says, enjoy NYC currently in Rhode Island. Very nice state. Actually, we got, eventually when we get the finalization on something that's getting ready to go on with Joey and I, we'll talk about that as well. All right. So let's get into the software real quick. Son of a bungalow. And let's go look at what's going on with the market timing graph, looking at the over 9,000 stocks that we track. We were in the wedge. We broke out of the wedge. Here's today finally turning green right at a level of support. Look at that. Beautiful level of support on the VectorVest Composite, 65.29. This is the point of where I say if we break down and stay down below that, the market's going to have more room to the downside. I'm looking at the MTI at 0.85, not at the level of 0.6, 0.7, where 0.6, where we're looking for a bottom. The buy to sell ratio at 0.38, not at the level of 0.20, where the market's looking for a bottom. So, but I'm looking to see if we break below this level of support, the market will then show us we've got more legs to the downside. Right now, the market is trying to show its resiliency, and the bulls are riding the three main stocks, the hottest stocks on the planet, bar none. That's what's keeping the market up. Do you agree or disagree with that? All right. Do you agree or disagree with that? I think that Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Apple are the hottest stocks on the planet that are moving the market If you agree with that, type of 1. If you do not agree with that, type of 2, and that's fine. You know me, I always like to have conversations. I always want to have conversations. It's not all about me just talking. I want you to be involved in the conversation. But, at some point in time, you're going to sit back and say to yourself, is this a bubble? I think it's not a bubble because AI, we're still in the infancy. We're still in the infancy of AI, and everybody and their mama is trying to get in on a piece of that pie. Everybody. And everybody who's doing it is reaping the rewards behind it. All right. By the way, market is closed Wednesday for Juneteenth. Janice, I'm going to put out a video on that as well. I'm going to put out a video on that as well, a little short video talking about the market will be closed on Wednesday. All right. So that's what's going on in the market. The biggest thing is, are you cautionary or is this a market crash? Again, I don't call this more of a crash until we get below this level of 65.29 because it's served as a beautiful, over the last 3 months, a beautiful level of support. A beautiful, look at this, touch. We haven't broken, and even with today's activity, if we break down below this level of support, the market's going to definitely show it's got more downside. Then we get closer to, air quotes, a crash. Right now, I think that we are defensive. This is where you don't mind taking half off the table. This is where you close out some of those positions that you've made money on. I do not want you guys to get caught with the bag, all right, or get the rug pulled out from under you. I want you to know that before it happens. Glenn, what are the indicators that tell you whether consolidation or crash or meltdown? All I'm looking at is a graph, Akshaya. We are range bound right here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, almost 3 weeks. Almost 3 solid trading weeks, we are range bound. All right, that's all I need to see. I don't need any other indicators at the particular point in time except for looking at the color guard. I'm looking at the market timing. All of our market timing is to the downside as well. But I'm looking at this level of support to see if the market definitely, truly has longer legs to the downside. Glenn, but those stocks decide to correct. Oh boy, that's why, Lewis, I'm saying from the perspective of correcting, of pulling back, whatever. Right now, do not be afraid to take some of that off the table. That's what I'm saying, Lewis. And I'm letting you know ahead of time. Before something bad happens in all of these stocks that are in that AI space, correct? If that happens, I think right now is way too much momentum for them to crash in any way, shape, form, or fashion. As soon as the Fed says they are cutting rates in September's market will drop. Well, you know why, Prakash? Because everybody wants a cut. You guys, and many of you guys don't realize that once the Fed cuts, that's when the poop has already hit the fan and the market and the economy is hurting. So you're right. As soon as the Fed does cut, that's the Fed signal to, we're in some trouble. We've got to help the economy. Does everybody know that? Yes or no? Does everybody know? And there's a lot of you say, we need this cut. All right, be careful what you ask for, because once the Fed cuts, the writing is already on the wall that the economy is already hurting. Marvin says no. Bikhanjeb says no. Bill says not necessarily hurting. I think anybody who's saying no, if you go back historically, when the Fed cuts, the market tends to go down because they realize why the Fed has cut. The Fed's agenda is to stabilize price and full employment. If they cut, that means the economy needs stimulus. You guys do understand that a cut is stimulus. We don't need it. Our economy is fine. It's slowing. And that makes sense as you raise interest rates. It's slowing. But the job market is still strong. We got a 4% unemployment. Companies are still, for the most part, meeting or exceeding their earnings expectations. Oh, yeah. And if you're saying that that's not good for the economy or that's not a good, then you know some ain't right. Those are things that are good for the economy. The Fed cuts when the economy is starting to falter. All right. So there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's get into some of the news that's moving the market. Get to some of my stories. And here we go. Put this on stories. First story, interest rates. What is the Fed thinking? Inflation has come down. Where's my mouse? Yeah. Inflation has come down, but the Federal Reserve has left interest rates at their high levels. That has led many to wonder, what are they thinking? The Fed's policymaking committee members continue to emphasize a few points. Their goals. The importance for low and steady inflation. The long time lags in monetary policy. And uncertainty surrounding the economic forecast. This is why they use terms like higher for longer. This is why they use terms like sticky inflation. The Fed's view of its goals of how inflation and employment interact, inflation and employment, that's it, and how monetary policies affect what? The economy will lead to continued caution. So when I come back and I say that if they are cutting rates, something is not right in the economy. That's not the case right now. And that's why they still have left in, the cuts off the table. They haven't done anything. And then you hear them say that they're going to move from 3 cuts to 1 cut. And then possibly not even a cut at all this year, not until 2025. There was even on the table that there was going to have a raise. All of these things roll right back up into it's about the economy. And the economy is stronger than what the Fed would like it to be. So they haven't cut. Glenn, many sectors already crashed. Banks, solar, retail, discretionary. You think they will crash more? I think if the market does decide that it wants to go down some more, absolutely. Absolutely. The Fed says they are not cutting, market will drop. I'd be worried if they did cut already. And I'm with you, Pennywise, because I understand why. And when they cut rates, I'd be concerned as well. Next story, Wells Fargo sees now 2 rate cuts. And you know, Akshay, you asked the question, why can't the market make up its mind? Because news keeps coming out of how many rate cuts, and the market tries to digest, is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 2? Can it still possibly be 3? When is it going to happen? I don't know. This is an election cycle. All of these things are running. And that's why, Akshay, the market can't make up its mind right now, but says it will be a close call if we get 2 rate cuts. How about oil? Crude oil rises more than 1% to trade above $79 per barrel. Uncle Glenn has got a price target of $90 per barrel on oil, especially with the summer traveling months, extending last week's gains. And of course, as soon as I got a USO, oil started going up. Duh. How about this? And this is coming into fruition right now. What was the next stock? AVGO. Who was the AVGO, Adobe? We're going to split. Stock splits are back in fashion. Here's why and which companies could be next. Now, notable stock splits in 2024. Walmart. A lot of companies split. NVIDIA, Chipotle. Chipotle's coming out 6/25, I think. I think these dates are 6/25/24. Broadcom on July 12th. Recent ones. Sony, Lam. And then they've come down to candidates for a stock split. Include Booking Holdings, AutoZone, which is so freaking expensive as well, Decker Outdoors. Other high-priced stocks with retail focus include Costco, Microcomputer, which recently joined the S&P 500. So, and also Spotify, Ulta Beauty, or even ServiceNow, which has never split in stock. So it's kind of interesting that the story talked about several companies that may be splitting as well. What is the right market indicator to show the true state of the market? SPX now. I look at the VectorVest composite, Tabula. That's why when I look at a market timing graph, I'm looking at the VVC, which looks at the movement of over 9,000 stocks. For me, that's the best indicator to see what's truly going on in the market. The broad market move, not just the Dow or the S&P or the NASDAQ or the Russell. That's what I use. Rate cuts have nothing to do with inflation at this point. It's about fiscal policy in the bond markets. If the Fed lowers rates, it will be impossible to sell bonds. Ooh, I think it's more. Now, George, I'm going to be the first one to say that I'm not an economist, but I do a lot of research to bring these stories to you in regards to what I see is going on, what other people see is going on. I think bonds is also, it makes sense. Bonds is the debt, selling bonds. So, Todd Schaefer and I were talking about, we're going to get to a point where we're going to, in order to sell off the debt, we're going to start going to a 100-year bond. Anybody heard that? That'd be interesting. Have to sell a 100-year bond. But the problem is with that, you got to put a big return on that for somebody to put money tied up in a bond for 100 years. I don't know. That's just something that Todd and I were talking about in regards to GDP and financing the debt or the interest, just the interest, not even the debt, but on the interest on the debt, that possibly we start to sell 100-year bonds. Does that sound viable to you? Yes or no? Does that sound viable to you? Yes or no? Be a great way to try to sell off the debt, though. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. I don't know who would buy them. I know. There you go. George is right. 120% debt to GDP. And Todd and I were looking. We're going to get to a point. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to get to a point where we get up to 170, 180% debt to GDP. And then we become totally insolvent, George. I don't think we're at that point now. And I know it's high debt to GDP ratio, 120%. But man, we can still go higher, and it's scary if we continue to do so. It is scary. Austria did issue 100-year bond back a while ago. I wonder if we do. I wonder if we get to that. All right. So more companies out there to split. Why? Because the companies are getting expensive. Here's a story that I own. I said last week that I didn't think Adobe was going to hit on earnings and revenue. They beat on both. And they went up 15% after a solid quarter. I got to own it. If I can talk about the ones that I did make good calls on, I got to take the ones that I missed the call on. And Adobe, I own it. I didn't think that they were going to hit on either, and they hit on both. But part of that is the whole AI story. It brings more credence to, as long as you're a company in AI, right now, I don't think you can do any wrong. I don't think that you can do any wrong. Man. Metals should be very valuable then. I think that, how many of you are starting to pick up more and more physical gold? Type of one in the room. How many of you, I have some physical gold. How many of you are picking up more and more physical gold? Because as we get to that higher debt to GDP, man, the dollar gets weaker. And then the more tangible asset becomes gold and silver. No. I'm still not on crypto, even though I got to at least think about it. I'm not on crypto. You know why I'm not on crypto? Because let's say we get to a point where everything just goes to poop. It just goes to poop. And we fight a war. We got a world war. Everything electronic is taken out across the globe. How does crypto work? All right, think about that, Mr. Boilerman. You sound like Shabba. Mr. Boilerman. Shabba. I don't know if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But I do like that. Mr. Boilerman. Shabba. If we go through a point where all electronics are down globally, how do you trade crypto? It is the digital currency. Think about that. It is a digital currency. Holding gold coins and silver bars bought over 10 years ago. I mean, that's a physical asset. Crypto is not. Crypto is not. All right, next story. This is interesting. Shanghai allows Tesla to carry out full self-driving pilot in China. Oh, sicky now. Are China and Elon Musk waving, we're going to say, okay, we're going to do business again? That's going to be interesting. In April, Elon Musk paid an unannounced visit to Beijing where he was believed to discuss the rollout of full self-driving. In May, Reuters reported that Tesla is preparing to register FSD with the authorities in China in a run-up to its planned rollout this year. You're right, Bill. The stock market will be gone too. But what will be the perceived value of gold and silver? I think that no matter what, they will have value. They will have value. Lou said something. What did Lou say? Any rate cut is purely political. I don't see any interest rate cuts, not even next year. I see them next year. I don't see them this year. Not sure how that works in Shanghai, says Troy. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so I got Tesla in my list today. Microsoft, Apple, and NVIDIA in a race to hit $4 trillion. That was my video over the weekend. How many of you, which company do you think would be the first one to hit $4 trillion? Most of you said NVIDIA. I have to agree with you. All right. Gold will then have value when everything's in the pooper. Lennar's in my list today as earnings. Ever been to Shanghai traffic? I've been to Shanghai. I've been to Okinawa, Japan, and then I've been to South Korea. I've been a little bit around in Asia. All right. I think that the majority of the people in the video that commented stated that NVIDIA will be the first. I'm going to say Apple. Why? Because I'm an Apple cultist. That's why. All right. Lithium story. Chile lithium miner SQM reaches a supply deal with Hyundai and Kia. Now, I don't know if this is enough to pull all three of those up from an EV space. I think that the EV sales are soft. I think that this is a good move for SQM. But if Hyundai and Kia are not selling a lot of EVs, what are they going to need the lithium for? So this is an interesting story, a story that I'll keep my eyes on. I'm not putting a whole lot of vim and vigor behind there. I'm not putting a whole lot of vim and vigor behind that. Okay, so let's go to the next one, talking about crypto. Bitfarms gains as Riot platform. Riot has a 14% stake in Bitfarms, and it pursues a takeover of Bitfarms. Riot does. A farmer, a Bitcoin farmer wants to take over a bit company. Interesting. And I don't think I put Riot or BITF in there. I need to. Riot. I got coin though. Riot and BITF. I'll put those into my list today. But then let's talk a little bit more about crypto. Institutions hold a substantial stakes in Coinbase Global. How about their holdings have moved from 38% holdings to 44% of shares held? Interesting that, something, as much as I don't like crypto, it's making some noise. Jacqueline says, thank you for the Palantir play. Yep, I own Palantir. The only three stocks that I own right now are Palantir, and I own two of the ETFs from the hottest stocks on the planet. I own NVDL and I own AAPU. Man, all three of these stocks are kicking butt and taking names. When I sit back, and Palantir is not one of the three hottest stocks on the planet. It is Apple, NVIDIA, and Microsoft. Those are the three hottest stocks, and I've got ETFs on two of the hottest stocks on the planet. Janice says the MTI has been steadily rising since you started your show. We're going to need to talk to the market close today. We'll see. Again, interesting thing about the market today, Janet, is that it did hit that level of support that I have on the graph, and it's moving back up. That level of support has been so strong. How many touches has it had without breaking down and staying below it? That is a positive sign for the market. And the market looks like the bulls want to keep taking hold, and the three hottest stocks on the planet still are carrying the market. I think that's what's going on. Now, there's one more side that still keeps me thinking about, why do I really call it crypto? Well, from 40 billion fraud to $4.5 billion settlement inside the latest crypto firm buying big bucks to end legal trouble. A $4.5 billion settlement between Do Kwon, Terraform Labs, and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Binance previously settled with the U.S. for $4.3 billion. We all know what happened just in general with crypto, FTX. These are the things that bring me back that bring me back to reality on crypto. I'm not, this is why I keep saying to myself, I'm not a big fan of crypto, but if it's moving, it's moving. All right. Tabula says, Mr. Tompkins, man, thrill me with it. Mr. Tompkins, man, kill me with it. Sigh. Wow. Mamadou says, you definitely nailed AVGO on AVGO by calling upside earnings. Again, you got to take the good with the bad. And I told you that when it didn't happen, when it doesn't happen, I'll own it. I'll own it. Any opinion on OTC speculative stocks? Has been watching DeFi. I just do a video this weekend about speculative stocks? I did, didn't I? Didn't I do a video on speculative stocks? I thought I did. And then I gave the bonus of the 3 hottest stocks. All right, so I'm a fan of speculative plays. That's why every so often I put them out there. Last 2 stories are about drugs. Viking Therapeutics, a contender in the growing obesity treatment landscape. GLP-1s. That's another hot industry right now. 2 stocks I like in that industry are Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. Hims is up there too, even though they're rolling off the back of Novo Nordisk. GLP-1 stocks is hot. It's hot. And I've got a watch list of those stocks, and I've got a portfolio of those stocks as well. Kroger and KBH earnings this week. Any tips? Yep. When I get to the earnings, listen, let me get to the earnings story first. I ain't there yet. You keep asking me about stocks, about earnings. Let me get there. I got you. I got you. And the last story is on COVID. Novavax bird flu and COVID-19 headlines trigger rally. I'll keep my eye on that. I'm getting tired of hearing about COVID. I am. But they got a potential FDA approval with the upcoming catalyst expected on COVID and on bird flu. Jake says, hurry up. I'm working on it. Sigh. Don't forget GME. I forgot about GME. If you follow me on Twitter, I just posted something about GME and AMC. If you follow me on Twitter, I put stories up on both of those. All right, so those are all of my stories. Let's go look at the watch list of these stocks. All right, and right now, again, look at that move on the market, right there at that level of support. Look at that nice move on the market. Let's go move this to intraday, 1 minute bars current day. Holy smokes. Did the market know that I was coming on? Look at the market go. Go, gadget market. Good, googly muggly. Now, I'm be the first one to say it had nothing to do with me. I'm not that much of an influencer. Don't get it twisted. I ain't that good. All right. I ain't that good. But man, the market took off as we came on. All right. The market took off as we came on. Glenn speaks, the market rallies. Don't get my head any bigger than what it is. All right. Someone said VectorVest is coming to New York. Yes, we are. It's impromptu trip. We're flying on Monday and flying on Tuesday. We're not coming to see none of you folk. Not yet. All right. I'm just putting that out there. All right. It's a promotional thing for us as we go to New York. We're just going, and it's a NASDAQ related type of trip. All right. Go, Glenn. The market doesn't want you to get angry. You guys want me to get angry because you keep typing in, was it Joey? That's what it is. It's the magic button at your desk, Glenn. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. All right, let's go to my watch list. Big news stocks. I am going to add Riot and BITF, but here's all of the stocks that made the news. Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, first company to get to 4 trillion. Look at Bitfarms by way of VST. It is the number 2 stock in here. Riot's further down the list. Adobe beating out on earnings is up in here. Hyundai, Kia. I don't know if I've got Kia. That's no Kia. That's not it. What's the ticker symbol for Kia? Is there a ticker symbol for Kia? How important is it for us to have real-time VectorVest, especially for market timing intraday and so on? Lisa, not everybody has to have real-time. All right, not everybody has to have real time. Real time is for those people who really want to keep up with everything that's going on tick by tick. If that's not what you need, then you can go with 15-minute delayed or just end of day. Believe you me. All right, so it all depends on what you want to see, Lisa. And a lot of times I'll be the first one to say you can get end of day and let your broker keep all the real-time stuff for you. And how is it KRX? Regional Bank?
Maybe it's KRW. Maybe KRW.
No, we don't have that neither. Somebody get me. Janice said the same thing. You and Janice both said, Sigh. You guys, let's do this. Ticker symbol for Kia. Ticker symbol for Kia Motors. Let's go see. Kia is owned by Hyundai. Oh, thank you, Michael. I don't think it's KKR either. There it is. It's owned. Never mind. KIMTF. I understand by Hyundai. KIMTF. We may not have it, and we don't. All right. It's owned by Hyundai, so never mind. Hyundai is in here. Hyundai is in here. What are your thoughts on SoundHound? I like the play, but you know something? I don't think it's nearly as strong an AI play. And I know that companies like ARM have a stake in SoundHound. I just don't. Huh? Oh, yeah. I, SoundHound had its time. I just don't know if it's super duper 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 strong. Tesla having the full self-driving in China. I don't know if that's. I mean, it's up today. 4. Actually, let's just graph all of these real quick. Let's just graph these. Put these into the star search. NVIDIA's one of the. NVIDIA by far is the most powerful stock on the planet. It's like Superman. NVIDIA is like Superman. Dun, 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 dun. And Joey is like the Lex Luthor to Superman. So, dun, 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 dun. NVIDIA is the Superman. Wow, look at that. For a person who doesn't like crypto, how about a 3-month high, nice open graph, a nice open candle on BitF. And look, that's kicking butt and taking names. Next one is Apple. Man, killing it. Like I said, I own AAPU. Next one is Microsoft. Look at all three of those stocks are all in the fast lane. All three. Adobe, even after the beat, look at the pullback. Ooh, but still in the fast lane. All right, let's go to Hyundai. I don't like the way it trades. It doesn't have enough volume for me. Yeah, I overdid it. I'm not feeling Hyundai. I'm not feeling, is Snow a buy? I'm a bigger fan of Palantir than I am of Snow. I just think Palantir's got a lot more upside potential than Snow. I've done research on it. I've done videos of comparing the two as well. Tesla, and interesting, Ryan likes Tesla. Says, I love the pinch. It's in the fast lane. Let's see if it can break up even higher. I don't know if the news of the full self-driving in China is enough to push it up, but Ryan is a fan of Tesla right now. USO, finally oil is in the fast lane. Now I may pull off another USO trade. USO trade. It's now in the fast lane. I'm going to write that down as a stock that I may want in my own personal portfolio. But I still have a price target of $90 with the summer months. That's as high as I think it's going to go. All right. But now that it's in the fast lane, I think I might take a position in USO. Riot's got a play in Bitfarms. Bitfarms is a stronger looking play than Riot. Riot is a miner, and Bitfarms is more in the crypto space. Something, and Riot is thinking about taking over Bitfarms. We'll see how that plays out. Coin, man, again, Coinbase in the middle lane. Riot looks better than Coin. Of course, Bitfarms looks better than Coin. Coin is not the play. Neither. Now the news that SQM's got the partnership with Hyundai. They needed to do something because they're just getting killed. They needed to do something. Now they're at a 3-month low. I don't know if I take this. What about Gush? Gush is an easier play because it's an ETF rather than So is USO. You can play either or. You can play either or. Glenn, is NVIDIA a long-term hold? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think with the hype, with the AI hype, the company split, more people are going to get into it. I think that right now the AI hype has got so much momentum that NVIDIA is a long-term play. What do you think of UNG or Boyle? That's got to be on a day-over-day basis. Ryan is a fan of natural gas. Guess what? I just saw that Russia overtook us as a bigger supplier to the EU than us for natural gas. I just saw that story. I should have put that story up today, but I had a lot of stories. I am interested to know more about that Russia overtook us as the biggest supplier of natural gas to the EU. But I thought that the EU was cutting them off because Russia was cutting them off, and I don't know. I saw the story. I didn't read much into it. I just saw the headlines. Palantir is fire right now, but Palantir, don't be afraid to take some of that off the table too, because Palantir will give back a lot of what it gave you quickly. So just be careful with that. All right. Novavax with the COVID-19 and bird flu, not touching that yet. And Viking, not touching that yet either. Not touching that yet either. All right. So those are the stories that made the news. Earnings this week. Let's go look at those real quick. I've got all of the stocks that everybody was asking me about. There's Lennar, there's KBH, there's Kroger. Winnebago I like as a summer play, even though it's a sell recommendation. Let's go graph all of these now. I'm going to put these, and for everybody who says, well, Glenn, I don't have this graph that you have. What I need you to do is take a picture of this. I take a picture of this, and you can build this at home. You can definitely build this at home. Where is it? My earnings graph. There it is. Here's all of the indicators that I'm using it. Take a picture of this, and you can add these to your graph. You can add these to your graph. NRG, hold on. I'll take a look at that. Stop giving me stocks. You're taking away from my ability to do this. Stop putting stocks in the room. All right, fine. Now that I said it, I'm not paying attention to any more that you put in yet. Just wait. Just wait. I like Lennar coming up to this level of resistance. All right. I'd like to see it break through, but I'm watching relative safety. Now, Lennar's got nothing to do with AI. All right. I got to take that into consideration. Lennar's got nothing to do with AI, but housing, building, I'm not sure how many people are building new houses with the mortgage rates being as high as they are. I don't even think they can build a house right now and lock in low mortgage rates. I'm watching the stock pull back. Look at that trend line. If I draw a freehand line, look at it, and it's above it. That's a good thing. Right at this level of support, let me take this off. Right at this level of support, it bounced above. That's a positive sign. But relative safety is at 1.4, but falling. Earnings growth is there. Earnings per share is there. That's a good sign that they should beat earnings. Sales growth is higher than it was 3 months ago, which keeps earnings sustainable. I think they beat. Based on this, I think they beat. Let's go to the next one, which is KBH. Wow. A lot of these stocks, the relative safeties are falling, even though they're still high. So I want to concentrate on the earnings growth and earnings per share. Earnings growth and and the sales growth. I think KBH does okay. I think KBH, the company's making money. It's sustainable earnings and growing. I think KBH beats. All right. I think KBH beats. Ooh, Darden. Ooh, Nelly, people getting hurt with inflation, not going out to eat as much. That may be a problem for earnings. If the restaurant business, because of potential, what's the word I'm looking for? Customers. I do like the move, though. I like the move, breaking through resistance. I don't like the indicators. Earnings growth is falling, even though it's at 14. Earnings, it shows me that the earnings are going up, but they're slowing down. Sales growth, that's going to be big. Sales growth is not as high as it was. It's only at 7. Earnings growth is at 14. I don't know. I think a lot of it is going to be a slowdown in people going to eat, possibly. Kroger, holy smokes. I don't know what Rising safety, earnings growth is flat, earnings per share, sales growth is flat. Inflation, I think this becomes another inflation story. Are people buying? I think people are still buying, but they're buying less. They're buying less. It's going to take away from the bottom line. It's going to take away from the bottom line. I think that they get affected by an inflation issue. ACN, I like, they put so much money back into the company and buying more and more and more companies. I think this will come around. Sales growth is falling. Earnings per share, I don't know. Where's the last earnings? Look at that. Last earnings and fell. I think they might be doing a lot of the same thing, but I think long-term, I like ACN because they are buying up more companies to grow their company. I think that may hurt the bottom line right now, but will help them long-term. All right, will help them long-term. Lazy Boy. Is average volume important to look at? Lisa, I look at it as coming into earnings. Are people excited about the stock? That's the only reason why I look at it. Is it important? No. These indicators are more important. Looking at the earnings growth, looking at the earnings per share is more important. I don't know what I think on here. I'm going to put these on a longer time period. I mean, just look at Lazy Boy. A lot of capitulation over the last, now 6 months. Stock hasn't gone much of anywhere. Hasn't gone much of anywhere. Next one, I think that a lot of people are buying firearms. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm looking at the safety falling, earnings growth, earnings per share is starting to fall. It's expensive to buy guns. Believe you me, I know. I think that inflation could be hurting them, but the sales growth, maybe not. The sales growth is going up, but the earnings per share is falling. So maybe they're selling more guns. Maybe they're doing it at a discount to sell more guns, affecting the earnings. Is BidF a buy? I don't remember what I said on BidF. Anybody remember what I said on BidF? This is why you gotta listen when I talk about this stuff. Winnebago, wow, these are expensive. I think inflation is going to hurt Winnebago. I want, Janet and I want an RV, but I want a fifth wheel. Those things ain't cheap. I'm looking at a fifth wheel about $175,000, $180,000. But, good freaking long-term RV. That's expensive. Inflation is going to hurt them. CarMax, same kind of scenario. Auto parts. CarMax is selling cars. I think a lot of people are holding on to their cars instead of buying new cars. My wife went and bought a new car. Sigh, but that's her and that's her deal. That's her deal. But I think more people are holding on to their cars. CarMax, rising sales. Interesting. Rising sales in a market where people are trying to hold on to their cars. Earnings per share, though, is falling. Again, it's another situation where I think you're selling cars, but are you selling them at a lower margin? That could be hurting earnings, and earnings growth is starting to fall. And relative safety factor is falling. So the question is, BidF, that was in my first list, is it a buy? Resale on RVs is horrible. Thank you, Bill. Are you hooking up your RV to your Jetta? Nope. Got to get a truck. That's another part of it. Got to get a truck. Probably get a Ford F-250 diesel. BidF, is it a buy? Let's go view the stock graph. Did I not talk about this and what I thought about it already? I said BidF was better than Riot. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, BidF was better than Riot. Riot was looking to take over. Type the ones in the room for Jeff, please. All right. Let's type the ones in the room. Thank you, Jeff. I need 2 stocks from you, Jeff. Yeah, BidF was the better play than Riot. Riot is thinking about buying, they got a 14% stake in BidF, but I think BidF is the better position. XPOF, give me another one. XPOF and another one. Thank you very much, Jeff, my friend. iBit Vanguard crypto space appears slow versus. So if that's the case, I would go with I'm a fan of the BidF. All right. Because of the market's conditions, I don't think I gave you much in the way of fish today. Where's the money going? You ask about oil. You asked about UNG. Let's go see what's moving. This is all my different indices by way of ETFs. Oil is on the move today. Where is cold or boil? Boil is all the way at the bottom. Where's cold? How is cold not in here? That doesn't make sense. Let's go put cold. That doesn't make sense. If I got boil, I got to have cold. All right. Vanguard doesn't do crypto. There's cold. Cold is, so when I'm going to look at, Janice, have you done much more with the idea of day trading cold and boil? I think that if you take a small portion of your portfolio, I am a big fan of playing those two stocks every day, strictly day trade. You close them by the end of the day. But cold is up 6.94%. What if I got in at 9:30? What if I got in, this is what we do in the Jockey Club. What if I got in at 9:30 this morning? That doesn't make sense. Let's go put this on to intraday, 1 minute bar, current day. Look at that, getting into it early this morning, utilizing the star search. I still haven't been able to do it. I do it a couple of times a week when I want my heart to get pumping. Yeah, it's tough. But when one goes up, the other go down. And I think it's a great day trade play. And you know something, when I hold it all the way to now, I probably would have taken some off the table here and probably the rest off the table here. You should summarize at the end of every video your summary of the stock recommendations from those discussed. I do summarize. What do you want me? I don't know what more y'all want me to do. I don't know what more y'all want me to do. All right, so I didn't give any fish today. I wanted to talk about what was in the news. Oh, and this is what I wanted to talk about. So now talking about whether we are in a correction or a crash. I want to show you something. Some of the most widely traded that I like contra ETFs, right? On a day like where the market is down, I'm looking at there wasn't a lot of contras moving. That in and itself tells me that we're not in a market crash. Does that make sense to everybody in the room? Yes or no? Does that make sense to everybody in the room? When it comes down to, we had a down day and I open up the contra ETFs and I see that they're not moving, does that help you understand that we're not in a market crash? Yes or no? Do you think the market volume will drop this summer as usual case? I think so. Ramor. I think there's a lot of people that go on vacation. That in and of itself will drop the market's volume down. All right, so when I look at if we're in a correction or if we're in a crash, I look at the color on the color guard, look for the predominant color. We had a lot of red this morning, but even with all of that, look at the contrast. I think that we do an outstanding job of giving you the tools so that you guys don't panic. Do you agree with that? Type of 1. Do you disagree with that? Type of 2. Here at VectorVest, we give you all of the tools at your fingertips to help you to make better decisions and not get caught up in all the rigmarole of what everybody and their mama is saying. Their mommy, their auntie, their nephew, their uncle. This is what it's all about. And this is why we have a YouTube channel. And this is why we talk about utilizing the VectorVest system. A couple of simple things without having to run all over the place to get your answers. Prakash says we're in limbo. Well, I'm not going to say I'm in limbo. The stocks that I told you are the stocks that everybody needs to have are kicking ass. I'm not in limbo. I'm be the first one to say it. I'm not in limbo. And the market is confusion. Listen, you're in the right stocks. You do your homework. And you know something? I hate to say this, but a lot of times, if you listen, let me show you something. I want to show you something. So you know we do the top weekly picks every week, right? Every Monday, and I'll do it again today, but I'm going to do a different take on it. You guys do know that we do the top weekly picks, right? I want you to see something. For those people who watch, and there's a lot of people that don't always watch, and I'm all right with that, but I want to show you something why you pay the freak attention. This portfolio has been tracked looking at the stocks that I've talked about on a weekly basis since 1/8 of 2024. This portfolio is up 24.5%. How much work did it take for you to get these stocks? We do the work. We do the work. I talk about why I like them as top weekly picks, and I do it for US and I do it for Canada. Now, does every stock make money? Absolutely not. Let's go to the trade history. Let's go to the trade history. And you know why I'm okay with this? Because the stocks that lose me money, I'm able to get out of those quickly. But then the stocks that make me money, I take those profits as well. So what do I use as a stop on my top weekly picks? The stops are RT going below 1. Holy smokes. If the stock loses momentum, I get out of it. That's it. I got no moving averages. I got none of that. Strictly look at what you can only find in the VectorVest system. How about this stock was found 2 weeks ago as one of my top 5? The stock is up over 100%. For those people, and I'm saying that for those people who don't watch the Monday video, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. There's a certain process that I look at to pick my top weekly picks for US and Canada. And guess what? I can always sit back and go, oh yeah, they do well. I track it in a portfolio. It ain't just about me talking. 24.5% just on the top weekly picks. It's a video that comes out every Monday for both the US and Canada. Ta-da! How many times have I heard people, thank you for that stock, thank you for that stock? Man, it don't take much for me to do it, but it pays off a lot for you guys. Yeah, granted, a couple of these stocks are down. They'll get closed out. They'll get closed out. But the portfolio's got, look at that, the portfolio's got enough cushion. Since January 8th, 2024, it's up 24.5%. Simple. All right. Let's go back to the viewers tab. Roy says, Glenn, you're the man. It ain't about me. It's about the software. It really is. I'll be the first one to tell you that as well. It ain't about me. It's the software. It really, really is. XPOF. Jeff, did you give me another stock? All right. Now I'll look at your stocks. NRG, comma, JABIL. Here we go, comma. Thank you for your incredible analysis. Yeah. JABIL. What is it? JBL? It's got to be JBL. All right. Thank you, Pennywise. RCRYCEY, comma, TSM, comma, HIG, comma, APLD, applied digital. Yep. AVGO, comma, MU, comma, CMG, expensive burritos, comma, CTAS, uniform company, JXN, comma, CAMT, comma, SOXL. I'm a big fan, and your picks are often on the money. Thank you. I don't know what that name is, so I ain't gonna try to say it. TPC, comma, freaking GME. Really? Jazz? Of course it was Jazz. Of course it was Jazz. DEFI, comma, TSX. No, I'm not in the Canadian. I'm not. What did you just do? All right. Crowd. Joey too. Yeah, I know. I love Joey. Joey doesn't do much of nothing though. CIFR. All right. Here's my stocks for today. How many likes did we get? 80. I gave you more than.
I muted you and took you off. I muted you and took you off. Nobody can hear you. You just said I don't do nothing. You just said I don't do nothing. Just for Janice. Just for
All
Janice.
right, fine. Joey, I'm putting more stocks in there. I'm gonna go through each and every one of these stocks. NTAP, each and every one of these stocks. NTAP, I'm fine. I'm gonna take my time with each and every one of these stocks. We're gonna be here until I leave. That's how this is gonna go today. All right. With that being said,
You stop sharing, and you're not on. So
say again.
you stop sharing, and you're not on. So do whatever.
I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I'm at the point I took Joey off, so this will all be on me. If we mess it up, we mess it up. It's fine. Can you guys hear me? You can hear? Good. I'll take care of this on my own. All right, VRT. Good. What other stocks? Since it's not Joey here right now, it'll just be me. And I'll stay here for a little longer. We all hear you, but that's all right. You don't need to see me. I'm okay with that. You don't need to see me. All right, so you can hear. Good. Let's go through all of these stocks. Go ahead, one-man band today. Yep, absolutely. I'll take it. All right, let's go put these on a 3-month graph. Let's go put this on the star search. And we'll make it easy. Make it easy. CAMT. I like the play. Now you don't have to worry about looking over here too as well. I like the play. Nicely in the fast lane. Would I buy it? Absolutely. But make sure that you're buying it on an up day. All right? Make sure you're buying it on the up day. I would not want to buy on a down day. Make sure you're buying on an up day. I would like to see it take out the 3-month high. And as long as it's in the fast lane, I'm okay with it. It does, Pennywise. CAMT looks great. I'm with you 110%. All right, SMCI, hold on. We'll see what we got. AVGO. Man, after it beat earnings, it's gone kind of ballistic. Watch it, though. All right, it's in. I got a gap that's not filled. I got another gap that's not filled. I like the play, but I'm going to tell you to be careful with the play. There's a difference in a stock going up at a 45-degree angle and going straight up like this. If you're in it and you're making that money, that's okay. All right, if you're in it and you're making that money, that's okay. All I'm telling you is be careful with it. All right, does that make sense to everybody? Be careful with it. Parabolic moves tend to come back and bite you in the butt. Joey, please give Glenn a tranquilizer because his singing is terrible. Lou, you're a hater, and that's fine. All right, but I already know that. All right, let's go to the next stock. TPC. I do like the bottom left to upper right. I do like that. Right now, though, it's in the middle lane. I'd be careful. This is where I would want you to be in it. That's the spot. And then when it breaks down below, take half off the table. Lock in that profit. I lock in that profit. All right, right now, I'd wait for it to get back into the fast lane. SOXL, semiconductors, the stocks in general are working. It's in the fast lane. It does have a lot of buying pressure here. Right at the 3-month high, I'd like to see it take out the 3-month high. When it gets into the middle lane, don't forget to take half off the table. All right. Let's go to the next one. Wow, TSM. Closed candle. Possibly a hanging man. Possibly a hanging man. All right. And I would say be careful with that. If you're in it and it's in the fast lane, rock and roll. Watch that middle lane. That's a great way to get out of the stock. That's a great way to get out of the stock. NTAP. That looks sweet. I give an applause to that. After the pinch, it broke to the downside and then got up into the fast lane, and look at that. Fast lane all the way through. Now, be careful. What's it doing? It's in the fast lane, but moving sideways. If you're not in it, I'd like to see it take out the 3-month high. If you're not in it, let's see it take out the 3-month high. NTAP is on my watch list. You know when I would activate the stock? When it broke the 3-month high. When it broke the 3-month high. All right. Wow. MU on the move. Bottom left, top right. In the fast lane. New 3-month high. I like the play. When to get, if you get into it, when do you get out? When it goes into the middle lane. When it goes into the middle lane. Musa, petroleum. A little bit more rocky in the move. Nice open candle. Very little wick. Trading right at today's highs. In the fast lane. It broke out and then came back in. I'd like to see it take, if I'm not in it, I'd like to see it take out the high. But trading well today, earnings on the 26th, gotcha. Well today, right at the session highs. I like the play. Next one, NRG, not feeling it. It's in the slow lane. All right, it did have a nice run. Look at that. When you stay in the fast lane, it does well. Fast lane, little sideways. I like in the fast lane, when I see a stock moving sideways, I keep my eye on it. From that high is pulled down. I'm not feeling NRG. All right. 2 days of indecision. All right. 2 days of indecision. I'm not feeling that. I'd like to see it in the fast lane. All right. Insurance, sort of like Progressive, those companies. Notice that this stock is all over the place. If you're not a fan of volatility, you stay away from this stock. Does that make sense to everybody in the room? Yes or no? If you're not a fan of volatility, you stay away from this stock. Does that make sense to everybody in the room? Yes or no? That's one of the reasons why you look at a graph, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. If I can look at this and see that, and I don't like that, that's fine. Now, if you're okay with that, it's up today, right at the session highs. I'd like to see it in the fast lane before I bite on it. I'd like to see it in the fast lane. Now, it's interesting. The last time it got into the fast lane, it got out of the fast lane real quick. You know something? I would have taken half off the table right there, and I still would have been pretty okay taking the other half down here. I would have given some up, but I wouldn't have ridden it all the way down. All right. Let's go to the next one. XPOF. Ooh, I don't know what the news is on this. I don't think, let's go see. I don't think it was an earnings play, and it is not. I don't know anything about this stock. This was news that moved it. I don't know what the news was, but I want to tell you that it broke outside of the bands. It's going to probably come back, but interesting. You know, if you are a new CEO, thank you, Jeff. You know, if you are in it, I'm going to give you a hard stop right at the gap. If it falls below 1244, that's probably a good way to get out, because gaps like to be filled. Gaps like to be filled. So if you're in it, you like it, you're in it. I do like it's in the fast lane. If you're not in it, I'd buy 5 cents higher than the high today. But that's a good hard stop right there. Thank you, Jeff. Have a good day, Andrew. All right, let's go to the next one. Cypher, another in the crypto. I like it better than Riot, but I like IBIT better than Cypher. All right? I like IBIT better than Cypher, but I like Cypher better than Riot. Fast lane, I like a little bit of a pinch and breaking. Both DPOs are moving up, and it's a buy. But another stock that over the last 3 months has just been moving sideways. All right? Just watch that. But it is in the fast lane. Last time it was in the fast lane nicely, it ran. Then watch it. Again, a gap. No filled. Gap, no fill. Oh, I got filled here. Gaps like to be filled. Ooh, JBL. That wasn't an earnings play, but I like the move in the fast lane and trading at session highs. And looks like it could be breaking out from this little pinch. And I got a level of support sitting at 111.64. How do you get 4 lines in the Bollinger Bands, Mr. Boilerman? Star Search uses 2 Bollinger Bands, a 20-day look-back period, 1 deviation, and a 20-day look-back period, 3 deviation. So the inside one is 1 standard deviation. The outside one is 3 standard deviation. All right. Next one, applied. A little bit, you know something? I got a little bit sideways move here. Look at that. In the fast lane, but in a channel. So I like it in the fast lane. I'd like to see it break outside of this channel. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Yes or no? I like it in the fast lane, but I like it to break above this level of 502. Does that make sense? Yes, it's in the fast lane, but it's in a channel. All right. So I like it in the fast lane. I'd like to see it break that channel, though. All right. That gives me more. Where's the volume? That gives me more of confirmation that the stock should keep rising. No channel here. Fast lane, ran. I'm in the fast lane a couple of times. 1, 2, 3 times in a channel. That's why I want to break above that level of resistance. All right. The uniform company, also in a channel from the high to this level. Fast lane stopped at 707. Fast lane stopping again at 707. Same kind of scenario. I like it in the fast lane, but I want it to be above that level of resistance, break out of the channel. Interesting, as we're sitting in the channel, volume is falling. That makes sense. That makes sense because it's sitting in a channel. So my call here is I'd like to see it break above that level of resistance. Rolls-Royce has been a great play. Right now, it's taking a little bit of a breather. And it is a gappy stock. That's one of the only things I don't like about Rolls-Royce is the gapiosity of it. It's in the middle lane. I'd like to see it in the fast lane before I take it again. But in the fast lane, good run. In the fast lane, good run. I stay out of it in the middle, in the slow lane. This was back and forth, but now steady. I'd wait for it to get back in the fast lane before I take it. All right. Next one. Wow. CMG. I think they're doing a 50-for-1 split, which they need to. They need to do like 100-to-1. There's no reason why a company that makes burritos should be trading at $3,300. But it's in the fast lane and it's breaking. I like the play. Just too freaking expensive. CrowdStrike, one of my 2 best stocks that I like in cybersecurity. CrowdStrike and Zscaler, my 2 favorite stocks in cyber. I do like the move up gap. Keep in mind, it's not been filled. All right. This was after earnings. It's gone up after earnings. New 3-month high in the fast lane. I'd like to see, I would go 12 cents higher than the high. Watch the volume, though. Volume is falling off. Next one is VRT. Oof. Someone got on me about this. He said, I lost a whole lot of money on VRT. Well, when I talked about it probably in the fast lane. But this is why I talk about when it's in the middle lane, when it's in the slow lane, you shouldn't be in it, right? I do talk about that. Same kind of scenario. If you're still in the stock's going down. It's trending lower from the high. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But when it was hot, it was hot. That's why utilizing the star search is an excellent way of managing any stock. All right. DeFi, sideways move. That's a sideways moving stock. There's the high, there's the low. That's a 3-month graph. It's going nowhere. VRT will have its ups and downs, but it's a solid stock. Okay? Crowd is my 2nd biggest holding, says Pennywise. Gotcha. First Solar came back to me like, I haven't looked at First Solar in a minute. I'm still big on First Solar. I like to play. JXN, you know something? It did well after earnings and then slowly but surely fell. In the fast lane, then in the middle lane. Let me ask everybody who's in the room. How many of you have started using the VectorVest Star Search to help you manage your trades? Type of 1 in the room. How many of you will consider using the Star Search going forward? Type of 2 in the moon. All right. How many of you currently are using Star Search to manage your stocks? Type of 1. How many of you at least considering it? Type of 2. How many of you don't give a flying flip type of 3? How many of you don't give a flying flip about it type of 3? And I'm sure that there's going to be some of those people in the room too. But a lot of ones. I'm happy. That means hopefully from our channel, we've brought a lot of people into the fray of utilizing stuff that you can only find in VectorVest. What if you don't know what Star Search is? Taboola, how many times do I need to explain what Star Search is? I just explained it today. I talked about the 2 different deviations. And then I talked about being in the fast lane, the middle lane, and the slow lane. All right? So I do that. I wish I had the desktop one, but I use mobile to help manage my trades. Johnny, I got you. I totally got you. Kobe says, 1, this is one of your best. There you go. It's not my best. It is the software. It's all about the software. GME, what more can I say about it? How many of you are playing? Pennywise says, see, you guys walking us through on the tools and the methodology is huge. I try. How do you find it in the software? What do you mean? So I'm looking at a graph. Once you're in the graphs, you go down to the Star Search graph on the side. Save, modify, go pick your graph. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm looking at usually on a 3 or 6 month G-Money. How many of you are playing the GME space? You know something? I watch and I look at all of the people online and on my Twitter feed, and I got the power of the VectorVest software. With all of the stuff that was going around, the hype, look how long it was in the fast lane. You know something? I can take stocks like GME and AMC and all of those stocks to determine, there is one that I do like. In that whole space, there is one that I do like. I'm okay with Reddit. Well, I was. I'm not now. But when a stock, even if it's a meme stock, gives me an opportunity to make money, I'll show it to you. How about I don't like crypto, right? I'm not a fan of crypto, but I could do the same thing. Coin. Would I be in it now? No. But do I have the opportunities to make money? Absolutely. So when even though I've got my personal opinions on stocks, I never use my personal opinion to stop you from making money. I may not like crypto, but if it gives me an opportunity to make money, I'm going to give you an opportunity to make money. I may not like meme stocks, but if it gives you an opportunity to make money, I'm going to give you an opportunity to make money. Just think about that. On AMC, let's go do that real quick. This is fun when I can take my time and do this on my own time. I love this. If you like what we're doing today, type a 1 in the room. I love this. Now I'm not. Here's AMC. Do you like Star Search for day trade? Lisa, yes, I do. We use it in the Jockey Club. We do use it in the Jockey Club. This is fun today, folks. AMC in the middle lane. Again, how many times did he give you an up? 1 day. Joey took the hush payment. Is that what it was? All right, 1 day. But look at that. Again, I may not like meme stocks, but if they give you an opportunity to make money, I'll give you an opportunity to make money. So now at the end, folks, we're going to see how this works out. I don't know if I'm going to shut this down the right way or not. Joey left. Well, I kicked him off. I did. I got mad and I closed him out because he was keeping me off the screen. He was slowing me down. So I'm doing this today on my own. We'll see how this works out. I still love Joey to death. That's my boy. But he was biting into my time. And I was like, stop. And he was like, well, you said I don't do it. Okay, fine. We talk about that later. This is now during a live stream. I need to get this done. So with that being done, with all of that being said, Thank you guys for being here. I love Joey. There's nothing in the world I won't do for Joey. There's nothing in the world I won't do for Joey. And he's come a long way from where he was before we were doing the stream to where we are right now. And he's the best we got. He is definitely the best we got. And I'm blessed to have him as my producer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's all real talk, right? That's all real talk. Today, he just was trying to flex, and he got flexed. All right. With that being said, I don't know how to do this. I don't know yet. I'm working on it. I'm gonna say goodbye. I don't know if I'm gonna just sign out the way I normally do. But thank you guys for being here. If you hadn't hit the like button yet, hit the like button. I'd like to see us get 100 likes before we leave. All right. I want to see us get 100 likes before we leave. Yes, we are all a team, Mark. I know. I'll have to go make up with him. Now get out there and buy some stocks. I am going to, you know something I told you, I'm going to probably pick up USO. I'm probably going to pick up USO. I think that oil is going to get up to $90. I do. Thank you, Glenn. Don't miss those 30-inch putts. You're like, I'm so mad at Rory. I am so mad at Rory. I am not a fan of Bryson because he went to LIV. I'm so mad at Rory. So mad at Rory. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to get into USO. I'm probably going to go pick up some USO. I'm not going to pick up a full position. I'll pick up some. It's just going. It's just running. And everything on paper says it should have been running. But I am going to pick up some. I'm going to pick up some. All right. And Jeff, thank you for the super chat today. Thank you guys so much. Just pull the plug, Glenn, when you're about to leave. I guess that's almost what I'm going to do. Oh, boy. All right. Listen, I'm going to go. I'm going to shut me down. Bye. And now we're going to see what happens from this point.